Hi, my name is Crystal. So I've been on a quest looking for an air fryer. I asked a couple of friends what air fryer they're using. They sent me pictures. These were a few of them. I went online. I checked the different prices, different brands. Size is very important to me. So eventually I went on Amazon and I got myself an air fryer. I always wanted a big one. So the first thing I did was buy frozen chips. I don't have an oven and I don't want to fix it. I want an air fryer. So here I am with my Milex 2-pot air fryer. Put in my frozen chips. Added olive oil. The canola olive oil from Woolworths is quite cheap and it's always on sale. So I got myself that. Um, and I tried it out and the chips came out quite nice. So the reason why I wanted an air fryer is not peer pressure or me wanting to, waste money. I feel like when you love cooking, buying a kitchen gadget is not a waste of money. If you need to spend more time with your family instead of being in the kitchen by yourself, especially if it's a closed off kitchen where you can't see what the family is doing and you can't watch TV with them. Meals can take up to 2 hours to prepare, even if you think you're doing something simple. So here I was trying out the air fryer, pressing a couple of buttons. I wasn't sure what I'm doing. And the booklet honestly doesn't help, hey? It doesn't really show you what to do. It will tell you the numbers, the temperature, and all of that. But the more you play around with it, the more you realize it's actually simple. But then when I finally got this air fryer, I bought it on the fact that my family is quite big. We are a family of 9, and I love to cook, and I always do content when I'm cooking. So when you create content, it takes longer because you have to focus on angling your camera. Every time you go to a different pot or you move to a different side of the table, you have to move your tripod with you. So it takes a bit longer. And at the same time as you're doing that, your kids need your attention, your husband needs your attention. I also tried to make pie. I was trying to convince my husband that this was a good purchase because it was really against me buying an air fryer. He would rather we fix the oven. And I said this would be a cheaper option. So here I was making a pie. Um, and it came out quite nice. It really did. And so I then realized as much as this air fryer works well, the pots are too small because you have to pack your things in bits. Like you see with the pies, I could only put in 2 at a time. So it would be 2 on the left pot and then 2 on the right pot. Same with the meats. If the pieces are too big, you can't fit in too many there, especially when they're still frozen and they haven't shrunk yet. And I thought that having 2 pots would mean I can make veggies on the one side and meat on the other side, or chips on the one side, meat on the other side. And it didn't work out that way for me. So if this is one that you would like, yes, it's deep, but if you pack it with too many things on top of each other, then the bottom ones won't cook evenly, and you would have to pause the cook time and turn it, and then do that all over again. You might as well use a pan then if you're going to do that. So I don't the in terms of working well, this Milex 2-pot one was very good. I liked it. It worked very well. It had nice options in terms of the preset stuff that you could choose from. And when I eventually learned how to use it, it was quite easy to manage. It's beautiful. It's nice and big. The exterior is nice and big. It's nice to look at. It's got an aesthetic as well for your kitchen. It's quite beautiful. So I loved it in terms of that. And it's quite heavy. So, in Cleman, look at the meal that I managed to make out of it.
Hmm.
That meat was still pink on the inside. It wasn't ruined. You see how beautiful that looks. Um, and everything else, then I used the stove. But this is what it looks like. And I would recommend you buy it if you are not many people in the home. If you're a family of four at the very most. I also tried to make pumpkin, so I had chopped it up into pieces and froze it, and then I would put it in the air fryer. I was trying to make as many meals with the air fryer as I could, and this turned out beautifully as well. See, I was portioning it out here, and then I poured water just to get the ice off it because if I left the ice there, would have tasted watery. I wanted the flavor to still be there. And this is another way to save time. You chop your veggies earlier and you freeze them, and whenever you need it, then you would just take out the bit that you need. But you can portion it in different plastics so that it's easier for you to use what you need. I just put everything in one plastic on the day when I did because I thought I would use it soon thereafter, but I ended up forgetting about it in the fridge. But here, the temperatures, if you want to try using an air fryer, and if you open it and you see that the thing that you're cooking is not cooked thoroughly yet, then you can always just increase the time and or decrease it and keep putting it in until you know how many minutes or temperatures you want to use it for. And you can spice your veggies in the air fryer. I poured sugar and butter. And this is the same pumpkin that was frozen earlier. So you see what the pot looks like. It's quite spacious. It's long, but for meat, it's a no-no. I wouldn't buy a two-pot air fryer, but there are options where it's one big pot and you can remove the inside, the middle part. So you can do that. Um, you can do that. So then I tried to make bacon. You see that for one packet, I had to portion it because I had to do it twice. So I made chips on the one side, bacon on the other side. You can use fresh potatoes as well, doesn't have to be frozen potatoes. You press the left side for left, you choose bacon, and then you check the temperature. The pre time for it was 7 minutes and it was too crispy. So you can then decrease it according to what you like. I don't like crispy bacon. I like it to be partially done. With the chips, I tried 10 minutes at first and you shake it in between times when it's halfway through and then you do it again. So here you see it wasn't crispy because I had decreased the time. And it was beautiful, man. And you use less oil. That's the beauty of an air fryer. You use less oil when you cook your food. You can literally put in frozen chicken with no oil and it will cook in its own oil and that's really nice. I like that. And oil is expensive these days. Very expensive. I think olive oil has seemed to me it seems olive oil has become cheaper because you don't need much of it, especially when you use an air fryer. You just put for the item to be wet and for the flavors to come through. But other than that, if I had made these chips in a pan, I would have needed a full pan of chips to deep fry them. So see here, the chips were not done yet. And so I press the right side and I choose chips or fries. It says fries. And then you play around with the temperature for what you think will be good enough. Obviously, you can pause it in between. That's the play and pause button.
How
And you just
pretty.
keep doing that and you check.
How
Once
pretty.
you're used to it, then it will be much more easier. I know it seems tedious at this point. But yeah, that's the
Yeah.
review of the Milex air fryer. If you check at the beginning of this video, you'll see exactly which one it is. Sorry. And then I bought this Milex. The Milex 7-liter air fryer was much smaller than the two thingies, the one with the two pots. But you will see in the upcoming videos after this unboxing that it really is spacious. For a family of 9, I can make all the meat in at least 2 portions or 1 portion even. But if the pieces are too big, then you would need 2 portions. Or if you have too many, because we don't eat 1 piece per person here, we eat 2 to 3 pieces per person, adults, and the kids get one each. So it does come with a booklet. I haven't used it because there are pre-settings. So the trick with an air fryer is that if you press fries, it will automatically give you the temperature for the fries and you just press start. And then if it's not done, depending on the potatoes you used, for instance, with chips, I had used potatoes that were too hard. So I needed to put in the chips a couple of times, but they looked good and they tasted nice. So this is what it looks like when it comes out of the box. The pot is quite big. This one is gray. It's a 7-liter. I can toast my bread. I do not have to buy a toaster. Thank God for that. Sometimes I just feel like a slice of toast with butter and coffee. This is the part now where I made chips. I had peeled them and cut the potatoes into chips. I added oil. I didn't have olive oil. I added normal canola oil and aromat. And so I'm doing that. You don't have to pre-spice it, but I see a lot of people who cook with an air fryer would usually spice the chips beforehand. So here they are now going into the air fryer. And there's pre-settings as well. For this air fryer, there's no play and there's no pause button for when you want to turn the food. So you would literally just pull open the pot and that's your pause. When you open it while it's still busy, it will pause. And then when you close it again, you don't have to press start or play, it will just do it. So that's the difference with this one. This one doesn't have many options of, like for instance, with the chicken, the icon is a chicken wing. So when you're making chicken pieces, you would just assume that you must press on the chicken wing option. The chips one, there is an option for chips. It's written fries, and you can see the picture that it shows you. This one is for chips. Um, I also made pork, but I pressed the beef icon because I'm not sure if that icon is a beef icon or it's pork chops. I don't know. So I'm always just gonna have to guess. That's the only thing I would fault with this air fryer. But I chose Milex again because of my experience with the first one that I had. It worked very well. Um, and I had bought a fake one after that, and it switched on for one day when I checked it and I didn't use it. The next day when I wanted to use it, it wasn't switching on anymore. And so I took it back. Amazon has a 30-day policy for returns. So don't be like me where you wait to use your machine days later. Because had I checked it out or had I used it that same day, I would have known that it's not working. But they're very efficient with their customer service. So I would recommend that you check out Amazon if you want to buy appliances. I'm not a fan of buying appliances um, at stores like stores that where they don't have a return policy, or the slip doesn't say what you bought. It will just show the amount. I don't like stores like that because I don't want to have to fight for my customer service rights. There's many stores where you buy something, but they don't tell you what it was, what the item was. It will just show the total. And that total could have been anything really. It could have been a couple of things that resulted in the same amount as that thing. But nonetheless, this air fryer is quite beautiful. I really like it. Halfway through, it will beep to let you know that you must shake your food. So shake doesn't necessarily mean you must shake it for real. You would take out the basket or the pot of the air fryer. Ooh, sorry. You would take out the pot and then you will stir, but use silicone stuff. This is the potato I used to see how hard it looks. So I had to put it in a couple of times just to make sure it's completely soft. And don't fill up your pot, rather cook stuff in portions. But you can see that the capacity is enough for doing one batch all at once. But I did it about 3 times until I got the nice consistency that I wanted. They were not crispy, but they were soft. I don't know how to make it crispy, but they maybe I would use the option for dehydrate because there's an option for dehydration, and that will probably make it crispy then because it will take out the oil and make it dry. I'll see how that works, and I'll let you know when I remember to do it. So you use silicone utensils so that you don't mess up the coating or the lining of that tray at the bottom to keep it lasting for longer. And look how beautiful those chips were. The next thing I did is that I tried this trick that I saw on TikTok or Facebook where they said if you have frozen chicken, just pour salt over it and it will defrost quicker. You don't have to you don't have to defrost it in the microwave or you don't have to boil it. So I did that for about 4 hours. I waited for 4 hours and nothing happened. Let me know what I was supposed to do. I think I was supposed to add water and salt and it would defrost faster that way. I really don't know what I did wrong. I don't remember what the trick was, but it had something to do with salt. So I was just saying here, you'll see on my TikTok what I was saying in all of these different videos. Please go to my TikTok. My name there is Crystal Bunguza. And you will see exactly what I was saying in all of these different food videos that I'm showing you here. I'll also put them in as shorts for you to listen in on what I was saying. But this video is specifically for a review for the air fryers that I've had. But once I had put it in, then look how beautiful that is. Do you really need an oven rather than just using an air fryer? Because look, it did the exact same job as an oven. How beautiful is that meat? And the nice thing about an air fryer is that your food won't burn. It won't turn black, but it will get dry. That's for sure. But mine wasn't dry because I was constantly checking it. But it is possible for your food to get dry if you keep putting it in. So you'll see the top was crispy, but the bottom wasn't. You have to turn your food. At the bottom of the tray, there's another trick that I learned. You can put something else underneath the tray. Because my sausage was frozen, so I put it at the bottom of the chicken just so that it can defrost while I'm busy with the chicken. But it wasn't cooking, so I then took it out afterwards and I put it at the top when the chicken was done. And then I tried to make lunch for my kids. This full video is already on my TikTok. It's called School Lunch Ideas. And you'll see a picture of a sandwich when you look for this specific one. So I put in chicken patties, frozen ones, and I wanted to see how they're going to taste if I didn't toss them in oil. And they actually turned out quite well. They really did. Now again here, there's no option for burgers on the preset menu. So I just pressed chicken because it's chicken burgers. Yep, that's me doing that. And then I reduced it to 10 minutes because I don't think 20 minutes would have been right for those. When it was 5 minutes, I turned them over. I used my hand because it wasn't that hot. They were still cold halfway through, but they were soft. So I put them in again, and there you go. Remember, I said, there's no pause button. So you'll just open the thing and then you close it again. Chicken pieces, you can put them in frozen, you don't have to defrost it. And I chose the wing option because that's the closest thing to the chicken family. And because it was frozen, I then started on 20 minutes. And this is the result of what it ended up looking like. Look at the gravy there. All that water came out. I then scraped it with a silicone utensil. You don't waste this. This is broth. This is stock, chicken stock. Don't throw that out. That's liquid gold, guys. And I made a gravy out of it. Put it in a pot. I added beef stock and one spice and mixed herbs with some water. And look how beautiful my gravy turned out. And I also poured a little bit of flour just to thicken it up. You can also use
So to end
the
off
soup
this
pack.
video, I wouldn't go for this
And
one.
all that chicken
This one
flavor
I
was then
bought
in
and
my
took back,
gravy.
and this is the one
So
I ended
that's a
up
tip
with.
for you. Look how beautiful.